Good day, welcome to Mayor King's TV News. I am Matsu Okpemisorishe and here are the headlines. Unlawful decries decades of neglect, issues strong warning to oil companies and Shekiri collaborators. Delta Assembly raises expectations for 2026 as Deltans await impact. NDIC recovers additional 24.3 billion naira for depositors of Heritage Bank. Bride and groom killed by gas explosion day after Pakistan wedding. Now the news in details. The Olafori Ogiamia Tuwashe III has decried what it described as over 6 decades of neglect, marginalization and systemic injustice against the Shekiri people, despite their significant contribution to Nigeria's oil wealth. The monarch expressed concern that the Shekiri people had remained poor, frustrated and neglected despite their significant contribution to Nigeria's oil wealth, blaming years of regulatory inconsistency and poor engagement by oil firms. Ogiamia Tuwashe III spoke while addressing journalists after touring several fields in the Shekiri Barine communities in Warri North local government area, including Jakba, Tebu, Ajamita, Eborimi, Udo, Obauro, Bokoda and Dibe. He criticized what he described as divide and rule tactics allegedly employed by oil companies operating in the area, noting that such practices had fostered oppression and were sometimes aided by internal compromise among a few individuals within the Shekiri community. Addressing Chevron directly, the monarch acknowledged the company's continued onshore presence, but cautioned against mistaking the peaceful disposition of Shekiri people for weakness. The monarch, speaking as a custodian of the land and culture, said the era of silence and ceremonial diplomacy was over, insisting that the Shekiri people will no longer accept being treated as irrelevant in matter concerning their land and resources. As the Delta State House of Assembly prepares to resume plenary following the Christmas and New Year recess, expectations are rising over whether the legislature will move beyond rhetoric to deliver concrete solutions to the state's mounting socio-economic challenges. The Chief Press Secretary to the Speaker, Nkem at the weekend raised Delta's hopes, saying the 2026 presents an opportunity for the 8th Delta State Assembly to redefine its relevance in productivity under the leadership of the Speaker, Right Honorable Dennis Emomotimi Goa. Waike stated the Assembly would engage with citizens across the state and translate this into legislative actions by targeting economic growth, job security, infrastructure, education, healthcare delivery, and social welfare. According to him, the Assembly is positioning itself as a people-oriented legislature focused on impactful governance rather than ceremonial lawmaking. Waike disclosed that the House is expected to prioritize the passage of key bills aimed at strengthening institutions, improving transparency, and enhancing service delivery. It noted that legislative interventions to boost internally generated revenue, support small and medium-scale enterprises, and create an enabling environment for investment would feature prominently on Assembly's agenda. A leading socio-political movement in the Nyoma land, Agugu Anyoma or the Ayoma, has endorsed the immediate past governor of Delta State, Senator Ifeanyi Otta Okowa, for the Senate. The group cited Senator Okowa's proven leadership, integrity, and record of performance as their reason for rallying behind him to represent the people of Delta North in the next Senate. Currently, the Delta North Senatorial District is being represented by Senator Ned Munir Wonko, announcing the endorsement in Nukala in Oshimili North local government area of Delta State. Convener of the group, Honorable Louis Ogugwa Ndukoi, said the decision followed wild consultations with traditional rulers, youths, women, artisans, market leaders, civil society groups, and professionals across Anyoma land. Highlighting that Senator Okowa, a former governor of Delta State 2015 to 2023 and medical doctor, is widely recognized for massive road infrastructure, earning him the title Roadmaster, for making Delta State the first in Nigeria to achieve universal health coverage. Ndukwe expressed confidence that Senator Okowa's experience and capacity will ensure effective representation and stronger advocacy for Nyoma interests in the Senate. Now on to foreign news. A newly wedded couple were killed when a gas cylinder exploded at a house in Islamabad, where they were sleeping after their wedding party. A further 6 people, including wedding guests and family members who were staying, also died in the blast. More than a dozen of people were injured. The explosion, parts of the walls were blown away, leaving piles of bricks/concrete slabs and furniture across the floor. Injured people were trapped under the rubble, had to carried out to stretchers by rescue workers. Emergency workers said the blast happened due to gas leakage, which filled the room when exploded. 3 neighboring houses were also damaged. Anif Mashik, the father of the groom, said the son had been married the previous day, and the newlywed couple, along with family members and guests, were sleeping in the house at the time of the explosion. Police said they have cordoned off the area, then investigating the circumstances of the blast. In the meantime, forensic officers in white suits were sent to curb the debris. Now on the business news. The Nigerian Deposit Insurance Company has recovered an additional 24.3 billion naira from the assets of the defunct Heritage Bank, limited to facilitate the repayment of depositors with balances exceeding 5 million naira after the bank's license was revoked. According to the statement, the recovered funds were derived from debt recovery, the sale of fiscal assets, and realization of investments. The funds will be appealed to payment of uninsured balances belonging to depositors with amounts above the 5 million insured limits. Now on the sports news. Nigerian Super Eagles following their quarter-final victory over Desert Fox of Algeria. Eric Chili's side defeated the 2-time champions 2-0 at the Grand Stade de Marrakech on Saturday. They got their goals through Victor Osimhen and Akol Adams. The Super Eagles returned to familiar territory in first, where they played all 3 group games and round 16 fixture against the Mambas of Mozambique. The 3-time champions will hold the recovery section at the Saridian Football Complex next Sunday night. The section commences at 6:15 local time. Nigeria will be up against the Atlas Lions of Morocco in semi-final in Rabat on Wednesday. Now a recap on our headlines. Unlawful decries decades of neglect, issues strong warning to oil companies and Shekiri collaborators. Delta Assembly raises expectations to 2026 as Deltans await impact. NDIC recovers additional 24.3 billion naira for depositors of Heritage Bank. Bride and groom killed by gas explosion day after Pakistan wedding. That's the news as detailed by Timiala Emanuela. I am Matsu Okbamitorisha. Thanks for watching.